Kia ora, boys and girls. Today I want to read a story called The Last Stop on Market Street. This is by Matt De La Pena. And this little boy and his grandmother. CJ, that's the little boy, pushed through the church doors and skipped down the steps. The air outside smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain, which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. That's his grandmother. He ducked under his Nana's umbrella, saying, "How come we gotta wait for the bus in all this wet?" "Trees get thirsty too," his Nana said. "Don't you see that big one there drinking through a straw?" CJ looked for a long time, but never saw a straw. From the bus stop, he watched the water pool on flower petals, watched rain patter against the windscreen of a nearby car. His friend Colby climbed in, gave CJ a wave, and drove off with his dad. "Nana, how come we don't get a car?" "Boy," says Nana, "what do we need a car for? We got a bus that breathes fire, and old Mr. Dennis who always had a trick for you." And the bus creaked to a stop in front of them. It sighed and sagged, and the doors swung open. What's on the side of the bus? Maybe that's what breathes fire. "What's that I see?" said Mr. Dennis. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear and placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. They sat right up front. The man across from them was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a "good afternoon." She made sure CJ did the same. The bus lurched forward and stopped. Nana hummed as she knitted. "How come we always gotta go here after church?" CJ said. "Mickwell and Colby never have to go anywhere." "I feel sorry for those boys," she told them. This is Nana speaking. "They never get a chance to meet Bobo or the sunglass man. And I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat." CJ stared out the window, feeling sorry for himself. He watched cars that by on either side, watched a group of boys hop curbs on bikes. See, Nana's knitting here. This guy with all the tats, I think he's playing on his phone, and this is the lady with the butterflies in her jar. A man climbed aboard with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. "How come that man can't see?" "Boy, what do you know about seeing?" Nana told him. "Some people watch the world with their ears." "That's a fact, their noses too," the man said, sniffing at the air. "That's a mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am." Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood in the back. "Sure wish I had one of those," he said. Nana set down her knitting. "What for? You got the real live thing sitting across for you. Why don't you ask the man if he'll play us a song?" See, these boys got a an iPhone or some sort of phone, and they're listening to music. And here's the man across from with his guitar. CJ didn't have to ask him. The guitar player was already plucking strings and beginning to sing. To feel the magic of music, the blind man whispered, I like to close my eyes. Nana closed hers too. So did CJ, and so did the spotted dog. And in the darkness, the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus, out of the busy city. He saw sunset colours swirling over crashing waves, saw a family of hawks slicing through the sky, saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full, and he was lost in the sound, and the sound gave him the feeling of magic. The song ended, and CJ opened his eyes. Everyone on the bus clapped, even the boys in the back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm, and CJ dropped it in the man's hat. Last stop on Market Street, Mr. Dennis, the driver called. CJ looked around as he got off the bus. Crumbling pavements and broken down doors. Graffiti-tagged windows and boarded up stores. He reached for his Nana's hand. How come it's always so dirty over here? She smiled and pointed to the sky. Sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness for what's beautiful. CJ saw the perfect rainbows arching over their soup kitchen. He wondered how his Nana always found beautiful where he never even thought to look. He looked all around them again, at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, and the broken street lamps still lit up bright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the wall. When he spotted their familiar faces at the window, he said, I'm glad we came. There's all the people going to the soup kitchen. He thought his Nana might laugh, her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, Me too, CJ. I'm glad we came. Now come on. And his Nana is serving up the soup and CJ's passing the bowl. You like that story? It starts off with them going to church and then going to help at a soup kitchen after church. But most of the story is about this bus trip along Market Street and all the people they meet and the beautiful attitude of CJ's Nana. Thank God for people with beautiful attitudes. Have a lovely week. Every blessing.